Have you ever noticed that no matter how many obstacles appear in your life, something still pushes you forward? At certain moments, it may feel as if life is placing barriers in your path, unexpected setbacks, closed doors, or situations that seem designed to slow you down. Yet despite these challenges, something within you refuses to completely give up. Even when progress becomes difficult and the direction ahead feels uncertain, there remains a quiet force that keeps guiding you to move forward. For many people who identify with the journey often described as the path of the chosen one, this pattern becomes surprisingly familiar. Their lives may not follow a smooth or predictable path. In fact, they often experience moments of rejection, confusion, and delay more frequently than others. Opportunities may appear and disappear. Plans may fall apart. At times, it can even feel as if the world itself is resisting their progress. Yet what makes their story unusual is that no matter how complicated things become, their path never completely disappears. There is always something that continues to pull them forward. Even when they try to step away from their purpose, even when they begin to doubt themselves, a deeper sense of direction remains present beneath the surface. It might appear as an idea that refuses to fade, a passion that keeps returning, or a quiet conviction that their life is meant to unfold in a way that has not yet fully revealed itself. This experience can be confusing at first, because it does not always follow logical explanations. From the outside, it may appear that circumstances are pushing them off course, but internally, they can still sense that their journey is not truly over. In many discussions about personal awakening and purpose, this phenomenon is often described using the idea of an unshakable destiny. According to this perspective, the chosen one's path is not defined by how easy or comfortable their life becomes. Instead, it is defined by the persistence of the direction itself. Challenges may appear, people may doubt them, and even their own confidence may fluctuate. Yet the deeper purpose guiding their life continues to exist beneath all of those temporary conditions. This does not mean the journey is free from struggle. In fact, many chosen ones discover that their path includes more obstacles than they initially expected. They may face moments when their abilities are questioned, when their ideas are misunderstood, or when their progress seems to slow down unexpectedly. These experiences can create frustration and doubt. At times, it may even feel as though the dream they once believed in is slipping further away. Yet something remarkable tends to happen during these moments. Instead of disappearing completely, the direction of their life quietly remains intact. Even after setbacks, new opportunities begin to emerge. New ideas take shape. New connections appear that slowly guide them back toward the same purpose they once questioned. It is as if the path itself continues to find ways to exist, even when circumstances seem determined to disrupt it. This raises an important and fascinating question. Why do some people experience this pattern so strongly? Why do certain individuals feel as if their path cannot truly be stopped, even when life places significant obstacles in front of them? What makes their destiny so resilient, even during moments when everything appears uncertain or unstable? In this video, we are going to explore the deeper reasons behind this idea of an unshakable destiny. We will look at how challenges often reveal purpose rather than destroy it, how inner conviction strengthens the path of the chosen one, and why certain journeys continue to move forward, even through periods of doubt and difficulty. And before we continue, if this message resonates with you in any way, take a moment to like and share this video with someone who might also be questioning their path. And make sure to subscribe to the channel for more insights about the journey and destiny of the chosen ones. One of the most misunderstood aspects of the chosen one's journey is the role that challenges play in shaping their path. Many people imagine destiny as a smooth road that naturally leads someone towards success or fulfillment. They assume that if a person is truly meant for something significant, the path should open easily and obstacles should disappear along the way. Yet for many who identify with the experience of the chosen one, the reality often looks very different. Instead of a clear and effortless road, their journey frequently begins with repeated challenges that test their patience, their confidence, and their ability to keep moving forward. For some individuals, these challenges begin early in life. They may encounter situations where their ideas are dismissed or where their perspective seems out of place among those around them. In school, at work, or even within their own families, they may feel as though their way of thinking does not quite align with the expectations placed upon them. This experience can create a sense of frustration because the individual may not yet understand why these difficulties keep appearing. From their perspective, it can feel as if they are constantly facing resistance, while others seem to move through life more easily. As time goes on, these experiences can take many forms. A chosen one might pursue an opportunity that seems promising, only to encounter unexpected failure. They might invest their energy into a project or goal, only to see it collapse or change direction in ways they never anticipated. In other situations, they may attempt to share their ideas or vision with others, only to discover that those around them do not fully understand or support what they are trying to accomplish. During these moments, it is natural to question whether the path they are following is the right one. Doubt can begin to appear, especially when setbacks happen repeatedly. The individual may start to wonder whether they have misunderstood their own sense of purpose. They may ask themselves whether it would be easier to simply abandon their aspirations and follow a more conventional route. After all, when obstacles continue to appear, it can feel as though life is sending a message that something is wrong. However, within many interpretations of the chosen one narrative, these difficulties are not viewed as signals that the person is moving in the wrong direction. Instead, they are seen as an important part of the process through which destiny becomes visible. Challenges do not necessarily block the path of the chosen one. In many cases, they reveal it. When someone faces adversity, they are forced to develop qualities that might otherwise remain dormant. Resilience begins to grow when a person learns how to stand up after failure. Emotional strength develops when they face criticism, misunderstanding, or rejection without allowing those experiences to completely define their sense of self. Each challenge becomes a situation that tests not only their determination, but also their understanding of who they truly are. This process often brings greater self-awareness. When life proceeds smoothly, people rarely pause to question their motivations or examine their deeper values. But when obstacles appear, reflection becomes unavoidable. The individual begins to ask important questions about what truly matters to them. They may realize that certain goals were influenced by external expectations rather than genuine passion. They may also discover strengths within themselves that only become visible when they are pushed beyond their comfort zone. In this way, challenges act as a form of refinement. Just as pressure can transform raw materials into something stronger and more resilient, adversity can shape the character of the chosen one. Each setback removes a layer of uncertainty and replaces it with experience. Each difficulty forces the individual to adapt, to rethink their approach, and to develop new perspectives about the world around them. Over time, these experiences begin to accumulate. What once appeared as random obstacles starts to form a pattern. The chosen one may begin to notice that every challenge they faced contributed something valuable to their development. A rejection may have pushed them toward a better opportunity. A failure may have taught them a skill or insight they would not have gained otherwise. Even moments of misunderstanding may have strengthened their ability to remain confident in their own vision. This gradual realization can change the way the individual interprets their journey. Instead of viewing challenges as signs of defeat, they begin to see them as signals that their path requires growth. The obstacles that once felt discouraging start to appear as stages of preparation. Each one builds the resilience necessary to continue moving forward. Another important effect of adversity is the development of wisdom. People who move through life without significant challenges may gain knowledge, but they rarely gain the deeper understanding that comes from lived experience. The chosen one, however, often accumulates lessons through direct encounters with difficulty. They learn how to navigate uncertainty, how to remain calm during moments of instability, and how to recognize opportunities even in situations that initially appear negative. These lessons gradually shape the way they approach their purpose. Instead of expecting immediate results or external validation, they begin to value patience and persistence. They understand that meaningful achievements often require time, effort, and a willingness to continue despite temporary setbacks. This perspective allows them to approach their path with a stronger sense of balance and determination. Through this process, the chosen one becomes someone who is capable of handling responsibilities that once seemed overwhelming. The resilience developed through adversity gives them the strength to continue when others might give up. The emotional awareness they gain helps them understand both themselves and the people around them more deeply. The wisdom gathered from experience allows them to make decisions with greater clarity. All of these qualities serve a larger purpose. The challenges that once appeared as barriers gradually reveal themselves as preparation for something greater. Each difficulty becomes a training ground where the individual develops the character needed to fulfill the role their life is gradually shaping them for. When viewed from this perspective, adversity is no longer simply a problem to be avoided. Instead, it becomes an essential part of the chosen one's journey. The obstacles that once seemed discouraging are actually helping to build the strength, awareness, and wisdom required for the path ahead. In the end, the key idea becomes clear. Challenges do not exist merely to test the chosen one's patience or determination. They exist to refine their character. Each difficulty pushes them to grow stronger, become more self-aware, and gain the insight necessary to navigate their purpose with confidence. What once appeared to be resistance from the world slowly reveals itself as part of a much larger process. Through adversity, the chosen one is not being pushed away from their destiny. They are being prepared for it. As the journey of the chosen one continues, something important begins to change within them. The challenges they faced earlier in life often lead them to deeper reflection about who they truly are and what direction their life is meant to take. At first, this reflection may feel uncertain. The individual might still be questioning their purpose or trying to understand why certain experiences keep appearing in their life. But over time, a quiet clarity begins to emerge. Gradually, they start to recognize that the path they are walking is not simply a series of random events. It is part of a larger process, guiding them toward a deeper alignment with themselves. This stage of the journey introduces something powerful that many people overlook when discussing destiny. The strength of the chosen one's path does not come from the outside world. It does not come from recognition, approval, or perfect circumstances. Instead, it begins to grow from within the individual themselves. As they gain greater awareness of their purpose, a form of inner alignment slowly develops. Inner alignment occurs when a person's thoughts, values, and actions begin to move in the same direction. For much of life, many people operate with a certain level of internal conflict. They may pursue goals because they feel pressured to do so. They may follow expectations that were shaped by family, culture, or society, rather than by their own genuine desires. In these situations, their actions may not fully reflect who they truly are. As a result, they often feel a sense of imbalance or dissatisfaction that is difficult to explain. For the chosen one, the process of awakening to their deeper purpose gradually reduces this internal conflict. As they begin to listen more carefully to their intuition and reflect on their experiences, they start to recognize what genuinely matters to them. Their values become clearer, their priorities begin to shift. The choices they make increasingly reflect their authentic identity rather than external pressure. This transformation does not happen instantly. It usually develops through a series of realizations that accumulate over time. The individual may begin to notice that certain activities bring them a strong sense of meaning, while others leave them feeling empty or disconnected. They may observe that certain environments support their growth, while others seem to drain their energy. These observations slowly guide them toward decisions that feel more aligned with their inner truth. As this alignment grows stronger, something remarkable begins to happen. The chosen one starts to develop a deep sense of conviction about their path. This conviction does not necessarily mean they have all the answers, or that their journey becomes easy. Instead, it means they begin to trust the direction they are moving in, even when the outcome is not completely clear. This trust becomes especially important when the individual encounters doubt from others. Throughout the journey of the chosen one, it is common for people around them to question their decisions. Friends, family members, or colleagues may struggle to understand why the individual is choosing a path that seems uncertain or unconventional. They may offer advice based on practicality, stability, or tradition. While these perspectives are often offered with good intentions, they can sometimes conflict with the deeper sense of purpose the chosen one is beginning to follow. At this point, inner alignment becomes essential. When a person is truly connected to their values and purpose, they gain the ability to listen to external opinions without allowing those opinions to completely determine their direction. The strength of this alignment also becomes visible during periods of slow progress. Not every step along the chosen one's journey produces immediate results. There may be moments when their efforts appear to lead nowhere, when their goals seem distant, or when the path forward feels uncertain. Without a strong inner foundation, these moments could easily lead to discouragement. However, when someone's motivation comes from within, rather than from external validation, they develop a different relationship with these challenges. Instead of measuring their progress solely through visible outcomes, they remain focused on the deeper purpose guiding their actions. They understand that meaningful growth often requires patience, and that the process itself holds value, even when results are not immediately visible. This perspective allows them to continue moving forward, even when recognition or approval is absent. They are no longer dependent on others to confirm that their path is worthwhile. Their sense of direction comes from a deeper source. The alignment between their beliefs, values, and actions creates a stability that cannot easily be shaken by temporary setbacks. This is why the destiny of the chosen one often appears unshakable. It is not because the world suddenly stops presenting obstacles. Difficulties continue to arise, just as they do for anyone else. Circumstances may change, unexpected problems may occur, and progress may sometimes slow down. What makes the difference is the internal strength that has been developed through reflection, experience, and alignment with purpose. The chosen one has learned how to continue moving forward, even when conditions are not ideal. They have learned to trust their inner guidance rather than relying solely on external approval. Over time, this inner alignment becomes one of the most powerful forces shaping their journey. It provides stability during moments of uncertainty and clarity during moments of confusion. It helps them remain connected to their purpose, even when the outside world appears chaotic or unpredictable. Perhaps most importantly, this alignment allows the chosen one to remain authentic. Instead of constantly adjusting themselves to match the expectations of others, they develop the confidence to live according to their true identity. Their decisions become expressions of who they genuinely are, rather than reactions to external pressure. This authenticity has a ripple effect on every aspect of their life. It influences the relationships they build, the work they pursue, and the way they interact with the world around them. People who encounter them may sense a certain steadiness in their presence, even if they cannot immediately explain where that steadiness comes from. In reality, it comes from the alignment that has been cultivated within them. Their thoughts, values, and actions are no longer pulling in different directions. They are working together as part of a unified purpose. And this brings us back to the central idea behind an unshakable destiny. Destiny does not remain intact simply because circumstances allow it to exist. It remains intact because the person walking that path has developed the strength to continue despite those circumstances. The chosen one's destiny is not protected from difficulty. Instead, it is sustained by the resilience and conviction that grow within them as they learn to trust their purpose. Even when obstacles appear, even when doubt arises, the alignment they have built within themselves continues to guide them forward. Even after a chosen one begins to recognize their deeper purpose and develops a strong inner alignment with it, the journey is rarely a perfectly straight line. In fact, many people who eventually embrace their calling go through periods where they try to step away from it. This stage is more common than many people realize, and it plays an important role in understanding why the destiny of the chosen one often appears unshakable. At certain moments in life, the weight of purpose can feel overwhelming. When someone begins to sense that their path carries meaning beyond ordinary expectations, it can bring both inspiration and pressure at the same time. The individual may start to realize that following this path could require difficult decisions, personal sacrifices, or the courage to move in a direction that others may not fully understand. Because of this, there are times when the chosen one attempts to postpone or ignore their calling. They may decide to focus on a more familiar and socially accepted route. Instead of pursuing the ideas or passions that seem connected to their deeper purpose, they might choose stability, routine, or a path that feels easier to explain to the people around them. From a practical perspective, this choice can appear reasonable. After all, choosing comfort and predictability often feels safer than stepping into uncertainty. During these periods, the individual may try to convince themselves that the inner voice they once felt was simply a passing thought or an unrealistic ambition. They may invest their energy into building a life that follows conventional expectations, They may pursue careers, goals, or lifestyles that seem to promise stability and recognition. For a while, this approach may appear successful. The person may begin to adapt to their new direction. They may become busy with responsibilities and commitments that occupy their time and attention. On the surface, everything might look perfectly normal, yet beneath this structure, something subtle often begins to happen. The deeper sense of purpose that once appeared in their life does not completely disappear. Instead, it tends to reappear in unexpected ways. The individual may begin to notice that certain ideas continue to return to their thoughts. Even when they try to focus entirely on their current path, they may feel drawn toward the same interests or possibilities that once captured their attention before. At first, these experiences may seem coincidental. Perhaps they encounter an opportunity that unexpectedly connects to their original passion. Perhaps they meet someone whose work or perspective reminds them of the path they once considered. In other situations, they may come across books, conversations, or events that reignite the same curiosity they once tried to set aside. Over time, these moments begin to form a pattern. The chosen one starts to realize that the direction they attempted to leave behind keeps appearing again in different forms. The same themes seem to return through different circumstances. New opportunities arise that resemble the possibilities they once ignored. Encounters with certain people or ideas seem to gently guide them back toward the path they believed they had left. This pattern can create a powerful impression that destiny has its own way of unfolding. It does not force itself upon the individual in a dramatic or unavoidable manner. Instead, it quietly reappears through circumstances that gradually bring the person back to the same fundamental question about their life. Each time this happens, the message becomes a little clearer. The individual begins to understand that their purpose was never truly erased during the time they tried to distance themselves from it. It remained present beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to re-emerge. The experiences they encountered during their time away from the path often provide new perspectives that deepen their understanding of what their calling actually means. In many ways, this temporary detour becomes part of the journey itself. By stepping away from their purpose for a period of time, the chosen one gains valuable insight into what truly matters to them. They learn the difference between living according to external expectations and living according to their authentic identity. They begin to see that the path they once avoided continues to appear because it reflects something essential about who they are. Another important realization often emerges during this stage. The chosen one may recognize that destiny is not something that exists entirely outside of them. It is not simply a predetermined script that forces their life in a particular direction. Instead, it is closely connected to their deepest interests, values, and abilities. The reason their path keeps reappearing is because it aligns with the person they naturally are. This understanding changes the way they interpret the patterns in their life. What once seemed like coincidence begins to feel like guidance. The repeated opportunities, the familiar ideas, and the unexpected encounters all start to point toward the same direction. Gradually, the individual becomes more willing to acknowledge that their journey may have been quietly guiding them all along. At this point, the idea that destiny finds a way becomes easier to understand. The path of the chosen one does not remain intact because the world is constantly arranging events to force them toward a particular outcome. Instead, it remains present because the deeper aspects of their identity continue to lead them back to the same purpose. Even when they try to step away, their interests, their instincts, and their experiences gradually reconnect them with the direction that resonates with who they truly are. The journey may include detours, delays, and moments of uncertainty, but the central theme of their life continues to appear again and again. This is why many chosen ones eventually come to see their past in a different light. When they look back on the periods when they attempted to ignore their calling, they often realize that those experiences still contributed to their growth. The skills they developed, the lessons they learned, and the perspectives they gained all become part of the preparation that strengthens them for the path ahead. By the time they fully accept their purpose, they understand that the journey was never about moving in a perfectly straight line. It was about learning, adapting, and gradually recognizing the direction that consistently returned to their life. And in that realization, the deeper meaning of destiny becomes clear. Destiny finds its way not because it cannot be avoided, but because it is rooted in the authentic nature of the person walking the path. Even when the chosen one steps away for a time, the truth of who they are continues to guide them back toward the journey that was always meant to be theirs. As we come to the end of this exploration, it becomes clear that the destiny of the chosen one is often misunderstood. Many people imagine destiny as something smooth and effortless, a path where everything falls into place without resistance. But the reality of this journey looks very different. The path of the chosen one is rarely defined by comfort or simplicity. Instead, it is often shaped by uncertainty, obstacles, and moments when the individual questions whether they are truly moving in the right direction. Throughout this video, we have explored how these challenges are not necessarily signs that someone has lost their way. In many cases, they are the very experiences that help reveal the deeper structure of the journey. Difficult moments force reflection. Setbacks create resilience. Periods of doubt push individuals to examine their motivations and reconnect with what truly matters to them. When someone faces repeated challenges, it is easy to interpret those experiences as evidence that the path is unstable. It can feel as though life is constantly pushing them away from their goals or preventing them from reaching the direction they once believed in. Yet for many chosen ones, the opposite eventually becomes clear. The obstacles they encounter do not destroy their path. Instead, they gradually shape the strength and awareness needed to walk it with greater confidence. This is one of the reasons the idea of an unshakable destiny continues to appear in so many discussions about purpose and personal growth. The term does not suggest that the journey will be protected from difficulty. It does not mean that every step will be supported by perfect circumstances or immediate success. In fact, the chosen one's path often includes moments where progress seems slow, uncertain, or even impossible. What makes the destiny unshakable is something deeper. It is the quiet persistence of purpose that continues to move forward even when conditions are not ideal. It is the inner alignment that allows someone to keep walking their path, even when others question it. And it is the repeated return of opportunities, ideas, and experiences that guide them back to their direction whenever they begin to drift away. Over time, many chosen ones come to realize that the struggles they faced were not random interruptions. Each challenge helped build the resilience required to continue. Each moment of isolation created space for self-understanding. Each detour revealed something important about who they truly are and what they are capable of becoming. When seen from this perspective, destiny is not something fragile that disappears the moment life becomes difficult. Instead, it behaves more like a quiet current beneath the surface of experience. Circumstances may temporarily distract or delay the individual, but the deeper movement of their purpose continues to guide them forward in subtle ways. And perhaps that is the most important realization of all. Destiny is not simply a force outside of you that pushes you toward a particular outcome. It is also something that lives within you. It exists in the passions that refuse to fade, the ideas that keep returning, and the inner voice that continues to speak even during moments of doubt. Maybe destiny isn't something that forces you forward, but something within you that refuses to let you give up. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to like and share this video with someone who might need to hear it today. And if you want to explore more ideas about purpose, awakening, and the journey of the chosen ones, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next video.